And it has been 1 year since a fire ripped through those buildings, killing firefighter Scott Deem.
His death rocked our entire community and actually forced changes in the way SAFD handles major fires.
Eyewitness News reporter Savannah Louie is live off Loop 410 in Ingram. And Savannah, how much of the evidence from that tragic fire is still standing?
Yeah, you can still see exactly where the fire scorched the outside of this building last year, but today visitors have brought beauty to the destruction. People have come here all day long, paying their respects to fallen firefighter Scott Deem.
Roaring flames and a funnel of smoke.
Kind of sad what happened, and everybody was in shock.
A tragedy that left a community shocked and saddened. When a CrossFit gym at the Ingram Square shopping center caught fire 1 year ago, firefighters from Station 35 went to the scene. 10 minutes after their arrival, firefighter Scott Deem went missing inside, never coming back out alive. San Antonio remembers him for who he was on the scene and outside of his work, too.
He had a family of, well, I think he had a wife expecting a baby.
And today, San Antonio honors him. A flag and flowers adorn the chain-link fence where Deem took his last breath. Fox Run Elementary School gave his station a banner with the message, "Our hero, S. Deem." And while today is the anniversary of Deem's death, his community continues to lift up Scott and his family.
We just gotta keep our, praying for them. Send the blessings to the family and the kids, and hopefully that, they are doing okay.
A lot of kind words to the Deem family today. I spoke to a firefighter on the phone earlier who told me that when they put on their uniforms, they know that there is a chance that they might not come home. They do this job because they love to protect and serve the people of San Antonio. Now, there will be a candlelight vigil today to honor Scott. That's happening within the next hour. It is at the Alamo, and it is free and open to the public. Reporting live from Ingram Square Shopping Center, Savannah Louie, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.